My name is the infamous Orion, and sell Schmoepane and Schmoepane accessories.
I
And
can't follow. How am I supposed to follow that up? Come on.
what?
That is unfair.
What?
I'm Cairo and I'm salty now. That's too good. I
Well,
can't follow that up. I can't match that.
that was the stupidest intro I've ever had. Thank you.
It's effective though. But yeah, for me to match that though, I would have to match its stupidity. And I can't sink that low.
Oh, fuck you.
All right, I've gotten there now. I'm good.
Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Two Schmo Show. Um,
Mm.
can you guess who's been watching King of the Hill all morning?
I have mixed thoughts on King of the Hill. It's a
Oh,
good. It's not. I don't want to call it a good show because it's really not. It just has some really good moments.
I don't know. I have a real soft spot for King of the Hill.
Oh, I do too. I used to love watching it at like it would what was it? It would be like 10:30 or 11 on Cartoon Network every night. It would be
Yes.
like an hour. It was always good. It's not a bad show. And it had really good jokes. It was more like the overall story was not great. I think that was mostly it.
Hey, I get you with that.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's way better. Okay, so I'll say it's way better than its competition, in my opinion.
I would say it's a product of the times. That's where like a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
its problems are.
Yep. It's easy to forget how old the show is.
Yeah. Oh, have you ever seen that promo of Hank Hill talking to the Silver Surfer because they were like right next to each other on Fox TV?
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna send this to
Sounds
you.
amazing.
Oh, it's fucking stupid, man. I love it. I reference it all the time. Uh, Hank Hill, Silver Surfer. Okay, yes, I found it. Um, copy, paste it in the Discord. Enjoy your meme.
Enjoy your meme. Let's see this. Fox Kids. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they put King of the Hill and Fox Kids.
This is like painfully early 2000s.
I forgot there was a Silver Surfer cartoon. What?
I'm surprised they would have advertised them together like that.
Isn't it weird?
Because, like, King of the Hill was never like a kid's show.
No, it wasn't. It was family at worst.
Yeah. That's kind of surprising.
Isn't it?
It's great, though. I love it. But
No, we do have that
I
audio
would never.
clip of Hank Hill trying to sell propane to the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. I would not have guessed that would be a thing. But here we are.
Someone's Hank coming to the MCU. All right, Thanos, I'm going to kick your ass. Welcome to week 2 of the post-election, everybody. It's
Yeah.
riots in I was about to say riots in Detroit after the David Bowie song, but riots in DC and some smaller elections.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean the DC the oh my god, words are hard. The DC stuff is really the big thing right now.
Meats and potatoes.
Yeah, with the million I love how hard Google is trying to not put MAGA in their pre-filled search results.
Really?
Yeah, try and look it up right now.
DC riots.
Like Million MAGA March specifically.
Okay.
It does
Million.
not want to autofill MAGA.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right?
That is just straight up sad. I get the
Where
feeling I know where they lie politically now.
right. Oh, here we go. This is the article I was looking for. Million MAGA March clowned for underwhelmingly low turnout.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part because, okay, so they're saying barely over 5,000 people. The numbers that I heard were 12,000,
Oof. Well, that's a
which
lot,
is,
but not a
yeah,
million.
but not a million. And I just love because they were actually saying this was a million marchers, more than 1 million marchers marching for the president. Like they actually said that as it was
Well,
happening.
do you expect them to be able to count to 1,000,000?
I don't expect them to be able to count to three, but I expect them to lie about it.
Fuck.
The whole thing is just such a joke though, because it's supposed to be 1 million people, and it wasn't. There's
Yes.
12,000 at best. Apparently, they're saying 5,000 in this article, which I don't doubt. But the it's like literary poetry. It bookends it perfectly how we started with the Trump administration lying about crowd sizes,
Oh
and now
my
we're ending
god.
with it.
You're
You
not.
know, it's like it's the foreshadowing we didn't know we got.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. So, okay,
And
so we have
apparently,
a what?
but Trump didn't even give a speech to the marchers.
No, didn't he like just pull up right next to them and just waved?
He literally like drove through them on his way to go golf.
That's funny. That is a perfect analogy for Trump in his relationship to his supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up the good work, guys. I'll hit a hole in one for each and every one of you. So that's 3 hole in ones. Ugh.
What is this?
Have you seen some of the? Oh, go on. You were telling me about some of this more stupid stuff going on over there with the
Yeah,
riots.
there's some really dumb stuff. My personal favorite part is all of the people in their fake military gear that clearly don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of people who were spotted with plate carriers, bulletproof vests that you would put metal plates into, but they didn't have the plates in them, so they were just wearing cloth vests that would not do anything to stop a bullet.
Nice.
And it's just like the perfect, they're very clearly just stupid. I'm reading an article here. I'm just going to read the headline: Trump supporter in penis mask charged with assault.
Go on.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell this is, and I don't know.
It's a man in a penis mask.
Woman wearing a surgical mask with a crocheted representation of male genitalia attached to the mouth area, and a T-shirt with Donald Trump, finally someone with balls, printed on it.
What the fuck?
Like, I don't get it. And apparently, she was charged with assault for assaulting someone.
With the penis or without it?
I don't know.
Because I've seen this one photo of like a whole bunch of Proud Boys with a dildo bat that they were waiting to hit people with.
Yeah, right.
And then some gay guy on
Oh,
Twitter
and
said,
the actual Proud Boys founder who on a stream shoved a dildo up his own butt to prove that he wasn't gay.
Fuck.
Like, these people are so dumb.
There was a gay man who replied to that photo of the guys with the dildo bat
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Don't threaten me with a good time." And that's, I don't know, a perfect euphemism for how the Proud Boys have been representing themselves. So he really shoved a dildo up his own ass to prove he wasn't gay.
Yes, he legitimately did.
How is that not banned from Twitch or
Who
whatever
knows?
streaming service? Unless it was Pornhub. In which case, you win this round, Proud Boy.
And there's been so many videos of that are like, the whole thing is so dumb. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb.
Peak 2020.
Apparently, there's a video circulating of a right-wing protester being punched by someone that has been cut off to intentionally. Yep, there we go.
What's up?
It cuts off the first 40 seconds of the video where this guy starts an altercation first and is shoving someone else to the ground. And at the end of this 40-second altercation, he gets knocked the fuck out.
Oh, I've seen that full video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're only showing the part where somebody walks up and knocks him out.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of video editing. I can make reality whatever I want.
Yep.
Fuck that. I just don't understand it. Is it like the old man one that you're talking about?
I will see if I can link you this tweet here.
Link it.
Uh,
I'm
oh,
excited
why
now.
doesn't it let me? God, Twitter is so hard. Copy link to tweet.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Andy Ngo? Is that his name? NGO?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's probably how it's pronounced.
I've seen his name thrown around a lot recently, especially with
Yep,
all these video coverages.
yep. Here's a good one. Let's see
Oh,
if I can share this.
share it.
Copy tweet. Paste tweet.
Ha!
Yep.
Care to explain what you just showed me to everybody?
So this is somebody who tweeted the million MAGA march is going well, and it's just a pile of sheep crossing a road.
Oh, that's mean.
Yep.
Oh, what about that photo I sent you the other day of where is it? Where is it? Yeah, of Nate Silver and Donald Trump Jr.
Wait, okay, this might.
But I'm
I'm
scared.
watching a video here real quick. Just one sec.
Oh, I'll just explain this little Twitter altercation. Or maybe not. I don't know. Nate Silver. There's not actually much evidence that polls are becoming less accurate. They had perhaps their best year ever in 2018. 2016 and 2020 polling years were slightly worse than average, but overall, nothing awful. Donald Trump Jr. We understand you're trying to salvage a very lucrative career in the polling industry, but it's getting ridiculous. Nate Silver. I'll still have a job on January 21st, though.
Yes, that was really good.
Yeah, I love it.
So this is another good one here coming out of this. This is a counter protester who is here, and he says, "I'm here to laugh at people in this ridiculous crybaby attempt to say the votes don't count if we don't get what we want, and I've come to feast on their tears."
Oh my god. He is my
It's
spirit
great.
animal.
It's great. It's like I want to be in DC so I can just see this kind of stupidity firsthand. But holy shit, is it dumb?
It's fucking dangerous in DC, though. Did you hear about
Oh
this?
yeah, no, it's terrible. It's bad.
Yeah. Some guy who was taking photos for like his newspaper got fucking assaulted by
Yep,
a whole bunch of Proud Boys.
I believe it.
Yeah. And I should point out, it's not just Proud Boys doing all this bad shit. Antifa's there as well, picking fights and whatnot.
Hmm.
It's just a fuck fest because you have all these very radically charged people all in the same place.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I've also been loving all of the pancake pictures, spamming the hashtags that they're trying to use.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta flip the pancakes.
Yeah, I got
So
it.
people have been spamming all of the million MAGA March hashtags with just pictures of pancakes.
And you know what's funny? My mother made pancakes the day that started, so I was like, Mom, you secretly down with the sickness? Hmm. Uh,
Let's talk some about like the other election results that we had though, because a lot of people might not realize this, but we did have more than just one vote on Tuesday.
Heresy.
I know, I know. But there's actually quite a few big ones. The major one is, like there's Senate seats and House seats, of course. That whole thing is ongoing, mostly in Georgia with the way that they have their election structured.
Yes.
So in Georgia, for those that might not know, they have their primary takes place on election day, and then they have a special election afterwards that is the, I guess you'd say, real election, where I don't know if it's top two or top three, but it significantly whittles down the number of candidates who are on the ballot at the special election.
Yes.
With the idea being that they continue to have more special elections until there is one person who gets more than 50% of the vote.
It's an odd election format, but
It's very effective though.
Yeah,
If you look at the second district, I think it is in Georgia, they had like the highest person only had, I think, 35% of the vote or something like that, because there was a bunch of different candidates that all represent different people's voices. So it's a really accurate way of people being able to say, this is the person I support primarily, while also still having a say in the ultimate person who gets the office.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fair if you ask me. Just like in the idea of
Oh,
like it's like Darwinian evolution of these social ideas being boiled down to who represents the most like on that ground.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Would it ever catch on in any other state? Hell no.
Um, it's really hard to say because there are quite a few states that have it.
Really?
They just implement it differently. Yeah. So the way that it depends on how the state treats their primaries, because I think it's New York in particular, and at least one other state has basically the same system. But rather than having their, pseudo primary on election day, they had it a few months ago. And election day is when they have that final two choice.
Uh,
I prefer the way that Georgia does it because primary elections are always terribly underrepresented by people
yes.
going to vote.
Well, no one wants to go do it.
Exactly.
It's bad enough we have to vote on the real day.
Yeah. Other states have what's called ranked choice voting, which I personally prefer because it is literally the same way where you only have to vote once. Where the idea is that you're able to pick it's two, three, or four people as your votes, and you're able to rank them. And your first candidate is the one that's counted for your vote, and they go and eliminate candidates one or two at a time until there's only until someone gets more than 50% of the vote. And if your first place candidate gets knocked out of the running, your second place candidate gets moved up, and that becomes your vote.
Yes.
Which is also, it's the same idea where it's very effective at getting the best result, the most accurate result, while still giving people the opportunity to voice their support for a smaller candidate.
I mean, then maybe Kanye still has a chance.
I'm not so sure about that.
You know, honestly, if Kanye wanted to play it smart, he would have started with a smaller office like Schwarzenegger did.
Yeah, only governor.
Yeah.
Where is, I don't even know where his residency is. Where would he be the governor of?
Where does Kanye live? Wyoming.
Wyoming. Yeah, he would actually probably have a chance of winning that. Oh shit.
Yeah. Wow. Man, imagine
10
Kanye's acceptance speech and it's just like a solid verse.
be funny.
Yeah, man.
It would be objectively funny.
Hmm. So, what other races? Oh, we want to talk about Oregon?
Yes, for sure. So Oregon had a big. They had two actually, pretty major decisions on their ballot. See if I can find this again. There's a number, actually, not just Oregon, but all across the U.S. There's a number of ballot initiatives that are basically against the war on drugs. Most of them related to marijuana.
Yes.
Where was it here? Arizona, South Dakota, Mississippi, and Montana voted to relax drug laws for marijuana legalization or decriminalization. And the end result was that every state that had a marijuana initiative, it passed in that state. At present, 1 in 3 Americans live in a state where cannabis is recreationally legal for adults 21 or over. There are more states on top of that that have medical exceptions. Mississippi was the one that passed a medical cannabis law.
Yay.
And in bigger news, Washington, D.C. has decriminalized the use of psychedelic plants,
That's
so magic mushrooms, quote unquote.
that's
And
why the Proud
Oregon,
Boys went there.
yeah, yeah. And Oregon had two measures on their ballots, Measure 109 and 110, that both passed. 109 legalized the use of psychedelics at licensed facilities for mental health purposes. Um, this is huge. I actually did a bunch of research on this back in like high school when I was a senior. And back in the 80s, like before these drugs were made illegal, there was a substantial amount of use in just therapy settings to use these drugs to just help people basically calm down enough to talk through in just a regular therapeutic way the problems that they were having, specifically with like PTSD, because it's really hard to have therapy with someone who has PTSD when they are having a reaction to that event, right?
Yeah.
So by allowing the use of these types of drugs, they can sort of suppress those initial fear responses and actually talk through the events that happened and come to a healthy resolution. And it showed amazing progress. Like fucking 40 years ago, we knew this stuff worked, but for the sake of the war on drugs, it was all made illegal in one fell swoop.
Well, yeah, man. Reagan knows best.
Yeah, Reagan. Yeah. Oregonians also passed Measure 110, which is the one that's, I think this one is being more talked about, which was the decriminalization of the personal, non commercial use of all drugs, including cocaine, meth, and heroin across the entire state,
Yes.
which is huge. The only punishment for it is a civil fine of $100, which is equivalent to like a speeding ticket. Or if you can't or don't want to pay that, you can instead go to uh where did it go? Basically to a treatment center as an alternative.
A rehab.
Yep. This measure also covered funding for a network of treatment, recovery, and harm reduction services, as well as as well as redirecting funds that would have been spent on policing and incarceration. A lot of this comes out of a 2019 survey done by the federal government that found Oregon ranked last out of all 50 states in treatment access while having the fourth highest rate of addiction.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it's a desperately needed act in their state. And hopefully, I at least I'm hoping that it turns out to be successful and that it delivers positive results to expand it into other states.
I agree. I definitely think Oregon right now is going to be at the battlefield on the
Yep.
future of the war on drugs.
Yep.
Um, especially, I don't know, how are police officials feeling about this? Because
Well, how are they supposed to get all their money on the side? No, I'm kidding.
I know that's, but
I honestly don't know. I feel like from the people who actually care about the people they're serving, most of the responses I've seen have been positive because when people aren't committing crimes and they're not mugging people or robbing places to pay for their addictions, that's less work for them. It makes their job easier and safer.
yes,
So to that end, I think that assuming it works, they should be in favor of it, but a lot of police officers are all I was say a lot all police officers are people just like us. They have their own opinions and beliefs, and for a lot of them this is going to contradict those opinions and beliefs.
okay, I got two things to drop on you real quick.
Yes, please.
One, were you just insinuating the police are people and not political pawns to serve your own agenda?
Quite the opposite. I was asserting that all of us are political pawns.
Hot damn, you got it right, Skippy. You have a career in politics waiting for you.
Hell yeah.
And two, I just know that some police officers, depending on the county, have to have like a certain amount of arrest or like confrontations with the law.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of it comes from drugs, which is why it's often like the war on drugs is cited as such a big reason for mass incarceration. And if you have no drugs to war against, what are you going to do to fill that quota?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm wondering how the police in Oregon will handle all this, because that's an odd thing to go through.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. I'm hoping it goes smoothly, it goes positively, but we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, we do. Or here's a great idea, right?
Mm.
We just get rid of the government altogether,
There we go.
make everything
Good start,
legal,
good start.
make everything legal, and we just embrace anarchism.
Yep.
Or here's another one, right? What if everything is legal because the government owns everything and they are responsible for our everyday living?
That sounds like communist dog.
Uh,
Are you a communist? Are you a communist in my free country?
I'm going to be a goingist at this rate.
Wait, a what?
A goingist. The idea was come and
Oh,
go.
yeah, yeah.
That was a very bad pun. Yeah, I'm not just saying that, the two opposite sides of government control, are valid options, but hot damn. Has an anarchist society ever worked?
It's really hard to say.
Because I feel like the power vacuum would just lead to communism.
The short answer is no. The longer answer is that you're never going to have a group of people with such a homogenized view of politics other than people who are already so individually wealthy that they can afford to basically throw away their entire livelihood to go live in a utopia-esque society, at which point they're already so independently wealthy that they're basically not making any changes to their life to start with.
So what you're saying is we need to put more money in the people.
Well, no, we do, but not for that reason.
I'm just trying to get you to say something horrible.
Yeah, like pure anarchism is like the same way that pure capitalism doesn't work, right?
Well, pure
Pure
anything doesn't work.
pure anything is bad.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Have you ever had pure cocaine?
I can't say I have, but with these new changes in Oregon, I might.
I was about to say, pure cocaine is one hell of a ride.
I do, because there have been, and there's no other way to put them other than like call them experiments or tests. Because there have been tests for pure, anarchist utopian type societies, and they all either fall apart once they attract enough people that the individuals aren't self-sustaining,
Yes.
or they fall apart from the start because you're forcing people into an ideology that they fundamentally disagree with.
Yes. I mean, I'm going to switch the topics very slightly,
Yes,
but isn't
please.
China also getting rid of a lot of the democratic societal figures that take over Hong Kong right now because of that exact reason?
Yes, and kinda yes. They, as far as I know, they haven't like directly removed anyone from power, like not that like blatantly or obviously, but there have definitely been a number of instances where the government has like declared things as riots or, unlawful assemblies that probably were, and they have definitely influenced the way that Hong Kong governs in ways that overstep the boundaries to the agreement that they made back in the 80s or 90s with the UK.
Interesting.
And it's hard to say though, because at the same time, they're also implementing some democratic policies that do work in mainland China.
Yes.
It's like they're going both ways with it, so it's really hard to say that they're like doing one thing or the other explicitly because they're doing both and also not doing both.
They're also doing concentration camps. Wink.
Yes, that they are.
No one is talking about that.
No,
Praise be
I
our
did
Disney.
hear, was it
What?
Canada? Someone called for the UN to start investigating it.
Finally.
Yeah, like 3, 4 years later now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just Muslims, a significant world religion.
They're only second. Who cares about the second place guys?
Yeah, man. Now, if they start executing Christians, then we would have a problem.
Like, it's a good joke, but honestly,
I know. It's sad.
so serious. Yeah, it totally would.
Uh, it's really. Did you hear the rumor that apparently Disney's been helping them with those concentration camps?
I don't doubt it. I guess I would wonder to what extent, because, like, of course, some of Disney's money is going to end up in China because they have business relations there.
From what
I don't
I understand, is if you watch the Mulan live action movie,
Right.
the Mulan live action movie specifically thanks the company that's responsible for those
Oh,
concentration camps
right.
in its
Yes.
credits.
I guess the question would be why did they thank them? Because that could just be a formality that they probably shouldn't have followed.
Yeah.
Like, what company today is actually just doing one thing?
Um. Well, it depends on what company you want to talk about.
I mean, my point was more so that there's a lot of companies that do a lot of very different things.
Yes, especially the big ones.
So, like, this company might be overseeing these concentration camps, re-education camps, but they might also just generally work with I don't want to say tourism support, but like handling relations with large companies who want to work within mainland China in that region.
Very true.
And if you have people who you've only known as translators and interpreters and people who go ahead of you to help scope out and set up these scenes, you're going to thank them because that's what you do when you're a company of that size.
Yes.
Now that said, Disney should freaking know better and
I
reach
refuse
this.
to believe a company that big doesn't know who they're dealing with,
Right, exactly.
especially with how calculated Disney is as a company.
Yep.
Um, did you see those photos of the Apple factories in China?
Which ones?
The ones with the suicide nets.
I have seen those, yes.
That's really fucked up.
Yep. I'm not surprised by it though. I mean, I know that's like a controversy thing, but I don't know. That's definitely an older story. I don't know how relevant it is currently.
I don't know either, but I just saw those for like the first time the other day, and it's been hanging in my mind. No pun intended. Um, Also, apparently Apple's working on an Apple car.
Does it not have windows?
Fuck you. That was good.
So wait, they're like actually working on an Apple car.
There are rumors that they are working on an Apple car. Yes.
Oh,
It's going to be the main competition to Tesla, which I am all for because Tesla needs competition.
I agree, but I would not want that competition to come from Apple.
Agreed. Having two shitty companies go head to head like that,
Yeah.
very easy for one of them to make a mistake and the other will make that same mistake because no one's calling them out.
I honestly can't see Apple making an electric car that is successful enough for them to continue it.
Oh no, I think it's going to be the new Apple Watch.
Well, no, the Apple Watch has been quite successful.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's because the all of the Android watchmakers suck. They just don't have competition.
Fair enough.
But in the electric car market, like, Apple does not make a lot of cheap products, and once you start getting into like high-end electric cars, I frankly I know for a fact Apple won't be able to compete with like BMW and Mercedes. They just can't. They're not that good. They're too new.
I did want to bring up the idea of smart cars becoming a thing in the future
Mm-hmm.
because we had
I
smartphones,
I
smartwatches.
think it's a good idea
Yeah,
as long as it's properly regulated and controlled. Yeah.
yeah. No, I totally agree. Especially when you have a lot of, I don't want to say demand, because
Mhm.
obviously we all drive. We all know what we're doing when we're behind the wheel.
Right. Well, most people.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a terrible driver. It's why I rather walk everywhere.
Yeah. There are terrible drivers. There are people who are bad at driving. Then there are people who are just like completely unaware that they are driving, it seems like.
Ooh,
Those are the people I'm much more worried about. Is the people who just seem like they don't know where they are when they're behind the wheel of a car.
yes.
Where it's not like they're nervous or they're uncertain. It's like they just don't care.
Yeehaw! Very,
That's
very
the kind of thing that gets me. I don't even say angry, but it makes me angry. Like,
makes you angry. You say
pay attention to what you're doing. You're driving a 2-ton piece of metal at highway speeds. Why are you not paying attention?
because they don't understand physics.
You don't even have to not understand physics. Just know the fact that if you crash now, you're done, and try not to do that.
God, good point. I find living life without a car crash is very convenient.
Yeah. As someone who has been in more than one, it is a big downer.
That's right. I forgot you were. I remember the one that happened our freshman year.
Yeah, that one was definitely the worst one, but I've been in 2 major crashes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not great. I can confirm.
That's scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what else do we have for the news? Hmm.
So there's been a lot of man. I guess we can talk about the COVID restrictions that are going into effect now,
Oh
um,
yeah.
because that is very much becoming a thing now. Again,
Again.
COVID cases are very much on the rise. Have been for a while now. Um, and we are starting to get back to the point, basically the point where we were in the spring. There's the reactions that places are having seem to be a bit more preemptive now, which is very good. There's a lot of reactionary changes that happened in the spring. There's been, things have been. We've learned to, you know, what mistakes were made, what things can be improved.
Yeah, wasn't there some
So
advisor for Biden that said we should?
hopefully these will be effective, but for us at least, state of Michigan has implemented new lockdowns. I like the way that they have it. They have a really good uh, public relations spin on it. They're calling it a pause to save lives, and I think that's a really smart way of branding it. Just calling it a pause. It's not a
Yes.
lockdown. It's not a quarantine. It's a pause.
What is it? Only like
I like that. It's a
three
smart way of
weeks?
doing it. But it's basically it's very similar to what happened in the spring.
Yes. Uh oh. Oh no. Can you hear me? This is bad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, I feel I'm being lost in translation here, and he's either fucking with me by just letting me go on and on and on, or he can't hear me. He is typing to the Discord. It keeps on typing. And huh. Something's afoot. Oh, I'm cutting out very badly for him.
Yes, now I can.
Oh shit. Did you hear me? You see, we said the war on drugs was a bad thing, and now the ghost of Reagan is coming after us. Um, and that's
I
just what?
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
It's on like a solid 10 to 15-second delay right now. That's
Really?
really bad.
That is odd. I really hope this doesn't corrupt the video. This is bad. Row. Well, okay, he's going to try refreshing his connection. Meanwhile, I'll be here with
Yes. Say something specific.
something specific.
Are you there?
Yes, something
I might
specific.
not be able to hear you actually.
Again?